Tim Burchett went on CNN and he posted this this interaction he had with Brianna Keilar, and he said as if he ate. He said, "My wife had spaghetti for dinner. I had some CNN." Tim Burchett is still trying to defend this bill, but he doesn't know the hypocrisy that he's got around his own stances. I want you guys to watch what he thinks him just going off on CNN looked like.
It's very clear about how many people are going to be kicked off of health care until you were against the CBO.
No, ma'am. You listen. If you want to do the editorial, just go ahead, and you don't need me on here. But the
These
CBO,
are facts, sir. I don't have to editorialize.
Scores. I would like to see what the economic output of every bill. You as a taxpayer should want that too. And the CBO is the only organization we have. If I could allow a private accounting firm to do it, I would much rather that happen. But the reality is it would have to be the CBO. And what do you have against knowing how much each bill is spent? Why is the media opposed to that? Why do you all on the left always fight every chance at America knowing what's going on? The problem y'all have with this bill, ma'am, is that it gets government out of our way and lets Americans make some decisions, and maybe hardworking Americans would have a better choice and a better shot at life in this country without you all just telling us how bad things are going and trying to construct, and as you're doing with me, trying to dictate what I've said. And the reality is the CBO is a partisan organization, and the reality is America has a right to know how much we're spending on every piece of legislation. I cannot believe you as a member of the media would not want open records.
So he thinks he's arguing in a way that passed this bill that would allow them to have open records and secrets of what's spending. That's what we found out in that CBO breakdown of what happens in this bill. The CBO that he's now saying he's against. Again, Tim Burchett of Tennessee is against the CBO. He's going to continue on. Again, he thought he ate here.
Sir, we have reported on what is in this bill. We do that time and again.
Ma'am, you all are trying to scare. Are you talking about the big, beautiful bill? You all just try to scare America by telling millions of people are going to be cut off this thing. You're talking about the people that are on it illegally, that are gaming the system. And that is, and
no, we're not. The
CBO
is very clear.
The bill does not do anything of what you've said, and all you've done is scare America, and you're not doing a service to this country, ma'am. And you all ought to start talking. You want to talk about transparency, and then there you are attacking me on a bill where I'm trying to make it transparent to how much we're spending on each piece of legislation. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me,
you wanted to have the CBO estimate, and you're now railing
because
against
that is
CBO
the only
estimates.
organization. That is the only organization.
That's the only organization we got. I hate it so much, though. So Tim Burchett, again, thought that he was just railing on Brianna Keilar. And I know she was quiet for a long time during that. I think they tell many of the anchors on these networks to just, let them roll because maybe we won't get access to them again. Maybe that's the question. Or maybe the other part is they figure they're on the right side of this argument. So they let this guy just talk his way through it because he was angry. You guys know how mad he was? He wasn't this mad at all when his when those kids in his district got shot up at that little, I think it was a Catholic school in Tennessee, where that school shooter ran up and shot those children, and he came out and said, we're not going to do anything about it.
It's a horrible, horrible situation, and we're not going to fix it. Criminals are going to be criminals. I don't see any real role that we could do other than mess things up. If somebody wants to take you out and doesn't mind losing their life, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it. There's really, I don't think you're going to stop the gun violence. I think you've got to change people's hearts.
What should be done to protect people like your little girl from being safe at school?
Well, we homeschool her, but that's our decision.
That was years ago, and guess what they've done about it? That's that same Tim Burchett. I want you guys to remember who he is. Every time we mention Tim Burchett, I want you guys to remember how he talked about those kids that got murdered in that school and how he just doesn't give a damn. His child is homeschooled, so who cares? And he says, your children can get shot up in schools. They just got mad at Maxwell Frost for pointing this out in a committee hearing. It's one of his words stricken from the record.
Yeah, see, they say they're pro-life because they want the baby to be born, go to school, and get shot in the school. Die in the school, die on the streets. No. That is what they say.
I'm not going to say anything. You've gone over the cliff.
I moved to strike his words.
Over the cliff. Wait. You've gone over. We were going to be quiet, but you've gone over now.
I meant every word.
But you are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity. You will not. We are pro-life people from conception to natural death. Most of us are. And don't you come in here and say, we want to preserve life so people can get shot.
That's what I've seen.
But this Tim Burchett is the guy who told you right after that shooting, he doesn't give a damn. Should his words be stricken from the record? Because he's admitting to what it is he doesn't like. Sorry, went on a side note about Tim Burchett. This is what he was so mad at Brianna Keilar about, because he does not like being exposed for his hypocrisy on the CBO.
So you're taking issue with the CBO estimate here?
Yes, ma'am, I do have an issue with it. The office is very partisan. I mean, 85% of the people in their healthcare division identify as a Democrat, or they've contributed to Democrats, or they're registered Democrats. They're leading, I believe their leading economist is that. We ought to do away with these organizations because we use them when we like them. We don't use them when we don't like them. And you've got a bunch of bureaucrats in here that are on a lifetime gravy train. And frankly, we've got independent agencies that can do that. We have people up here with accounting degrees that can do the math. So I feel like that is a waste of taxpayers' money.
So in January 2024, there was a Republican who trusted the CBO so much that they reintroduced a resolution to require the House clerk to read the CBO estimate of any bill. I believe that was you, sir, the third time you introduced that resolution. Is that right?
That's correct, ma'am. Of course, and that proves
but
just
you
what
don't
I
like
said.
you don't like the CBO
us,
now.
Ma'am?
But you don't like the CBO now. You introduced that resolution over multiple years, but now you're dissing the CBO.
Did the bill pass?
Your resolution?
Did the bill pass? Yes, ma'am.
You introduced it, sir.
I know
It's
it, ma'am,
irrelevant.
but did it pass? They never pass because nobody wants any verification. It proves my point. When it serves us well,
you took a
when it
stance
serves
and you were
us well, we're for it, but when it doesn't, we don't.
Is that supposed to be a flex? I got exposed for pushing this resolution to have the CBO score read for every bill that happens in the House. And then when you're now for it, or at least for this bill, you're against the CBO score and what it says about what's in your bill and the spending behind it. But that proves my point. It proves your point that you're a hypocrite. It proves that you're the guy that you're talking about that only likes the CBO score when it fits your narrative. Isn't that weird? But then when exposed about it, he thinks he can flip everything on its head and say directly, I told you that's my point. I'm a hypocrite. That's the point. I tried to push this resolution that didn't get passed. So, because the rest of the House apparently is just as hypocritical as he is, fine. I think we already knew that. But everyone else is hypocritical in the House, so therefore I'm just one of them. That was his point. Well, that was your point once you got exposed. I don't think he was prepared for her to expose him on his hypocrisy over the CBO score.